Just a few adjustments here and there, and there. Oh, look! Oops! I just moved it again. See? See, we are live.
Hey world, hey
world,
universe.
just
Welcome to Cinematography 101.
101. What
TJ
not
and
to
Steve.
do? Get this stuff done before you go live. I got so many cables here. I move one thing, everything moves. Ridiculous. Yeah.
Hey man, the people in the audio only listening are just mystified.
Yeah, it's like I thought you were
now I
saying
feel like I'm on a ship.
Yeah. You're getting seasick? Everybody getting seasick out there?
Man. Goodness me. All righty. Let me begin just right at the beginning by apologizing to the world at large. Anyone listening, I am shattered, very tired indeed. It's been a long night last night on call, very little sleep, and no catching up with any sleep today. So I've got the energy drink at the ready.
Nice.
But I don't know how long it's going to keep me going. So if I am less coherent than normal and yawning, please no one take offense, because I am absolutely, really tired to say the least. So do bear with me, everyone.
All right, I will do my best to bear with you. You say that like almost every week, and then it's like. I mean, by the end of it, you're like, "Oh my God, that flew by," and you were like a ball of energy the entire time.
Oh, well, yeah.
Except for when I'm talking. Except for when I'm talking, you'll pull a Shane and go,
"Oh man, oh, yeah." It's not. It's not a comment on you. No. It's not a comment on you, man. It is. That's when it creeps in. I can keep the enthusiasm going when I'm rabbiting, but then when I stop, then of course you start, your body starts saying to you, "Are you sure you're not tired? Do you think you might be tired?"
Yeah.
And then before I know it, I am. But no, yes. So no one take that as any kind of affront. Yeah. If I'm less coherent than normal.
Less coherent. I'm always incoherent. I'm incoherent to myself. Wait till I do the open. Hey,
I'm always incoherent. Yes, I never get to the toilet on time.
Yeah.
No, sorry, that's incontinent. Sorry, totally different.
Yeah. Oh God, I just had an idea of what we were talking about. A perfect thing for the thing we were talking about earlier. Before the show. Mm-hmm. Hey, home theater. I need that. Oh boy.
Are we going to say happy birthday, or are we going to just move on past that?
Jen's birthday?
Yeah,
we can say happy birthday to Jen.
Yeah, happy birthday to Jen. We won't say her age because
why?
She'll go mad. She'll come in and bite our ankles.
Yeah. We had a great time on Friday night on Jen's birthday. Took her out with some friends, and oh boy, that time was had by all. Let's just say.
Yeah, I mean, the pictures look like a big limousine, but with Jen, I'm thinking it could have been a Mini.
Yeah. And it was. We look like clowns getting out of it. Clowns. Look at that. That was a nice segue, Steve. How you worked that in.
Nice. I like it.
We didn't even know we were in a cornfield.
Yeah, and it's still a bad title.
Mm-hmm.
But yes,
not just the title. Anyways, all right, enough of that. Let's have some fun.
Well, happy birthday to Jed anyway. Fair play. Good on her. Glad you guys had fun.
Yes. Let's see. What? Oh, you got something.
I have got a question.
Here we go.
Yeah. Now, this is theatre related, though, and movie related. Whereas my pre-show question isn't normally, but this one is. And I think I've asked it before, but I don't know. And the reason I ask it today is I asked a friend of mine this morning, and he gave me an interesting answer that I hadn't heard. And I've known this guy for 30 years, and I didn't expect the answer he gave me. So, Deej, let me ask you this. Not necessarily the best, okay? What I want to ask you is this. What is the scariest or most unsettling film you've ever seen? Now, the guy earlier gave me two answers, which is a bit cheating. But as I said, it doesn't have to be the best horror film. That's not what I'm necessarily getting at. The scariest or the most unsettling. And I figure if there's a time of year to ask it, it's now.
Yes.
So what do you reckon?
I have two answers as well.
Mm.
One as a child, one as an adult. The child
Ooh,
one has
okay,
stuck with me
yeah,
since day one. I mean, it
Mm.
was literally the first movie that ever scared me. Pretty much the only movie that has ever scared me up until the second one. Is Invasion of Body Snatchers. That
Which one?
the first one,
The
Donald
50s
Sutherland.
one? No, that's a
Donald
remake.
Sutherland. Sorry, Donald
Yeah,
Sutherland.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that one I saw. I was on TV, babysitter. I think it was my cousin. She let me stay up. Obviously, we watched that, and that's stuck with me my whole life. The ending of that, everything about it. You're like, what the heck? As a kid, that's one of those things that I don't know as an adult. I don't know if as an adult I would have been as shocked. Like maybe I would have seen that coming. I don't know, because you're not thinking like that as a kid. At the end of that movie, you're just like, oh my god, right? So that one there it stuck with me my whole life.
And tell me this, do you think that that's because of his expression? Is that the unnaturalness of his expression and body language at the end that's done that, pun intended? Or is it the just because of the way it ended? Because I always think with that it's his expression.
It's everything.
It's so unnatural. It's so alien. Again,
right.
pun intended.
And it's everything about it. You didn't expect it, right? It was yes, it is unnatural, but it's like it can happen. The idea of it can happen to anybody at that point, and it's like it's the culmination of the entire movie, and then you get there and you're just like, and that's it. You're like, and then it leaves you like on a like, how does the world go after that? What happens? And you just for a kid it was mind blowing, scary. Like I can't say I lost sleep and had nightmares, but it was something that stuck with me for to this day, it's like the first thing you think of. But the other one was, and it's like, you ask the question, and it's like, that's the first one that jumped in my head. And then the second one is like, but does this one beat it out? It was, Storm of the Century, the Stephen King movie.
Never seen that. What's that?
It was a TV movie, and they did, it's the one where the devil comes to the island. And if the people of the island don't give up a child, because the devil needs to go on, right? So he needs a child to bring with him, to like move the spirit on and like cultivate and have it. So that's the basis of the story. And every 100 years, the devil shows up to this island, and he says, either sacrifice a child, one of the children of the island, or I will march you into the ocean. And then in the movie, people start researching it. And 100 years ago, people marched into the ocean. 100 years before that, people marched into the ocean. And in this particular movie, the town comes together and they all voted, and they voted to sacrifice a child, and they picked a child. And then it was, see the movie, it's like, it's one of the kids. And then they had to give up the kid, and they did. And it was the end of the movie was much like a spoiler for everybody. Sorry, but you asked the question. But the end of the movie is much like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where the father, obviously the parents get divorced because the father didn't want to give it up. The wife's like, we got to do what's right for the town. We got to do this. They get, I believe that's how it went. So anyways, the father's walking down the streets of, like, I think Los Angeles. And he passes by two people, and one of them he thinks looks like what would be his kid. And his kid was probably, I think, 5 at the time, not just a baby. And it was like, they had to give him up. And he turns around and he calls the kid's name, and the kid turns around to him and goes, like, evil. And it's just like, that has stuck with me. Like, I'd walk into the ocean, because that's me. I'm like, I'd walk into the ocean. My kid's drowning, I jump in. My kid's on fire, I fire. You do that. And like, and then you see the history of the island. Everybody walked into the ocean. Nobody gave up a kid. And there's one year they're like, all right, screw it, I'm not going in the ocean. Like, what the hell? All right.
It sounds a bit like the plot of the
yeah. No, it does. And they didn't do it. That's the point. It's here you go. Yeah, whatever. And it's like, and of course, the people of the island, I mean, it's going to haunt them that they did it, but not like it would haunt the parents. And
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
there's a time and a place for the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. That's fine, but that saying is meant for the few. The few say that. Right. The few say, hey, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. We're going to sacrifice ourselves for that. Not, hey, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Here's the few. You take them. You don't sacrifice the few. You let them volunteer. It's like, I'm going to twist that saying around to benefit me. I don't want to get my feet wet. Yeah, no. And that just it just angered me to this day. So thanks for bringing that up, Steve.
Yeah,
Happy Halloween.
Way to start the show. Yeah, top of the show. Yeah, all good.
Oh God.
No, okay. Well, I mean, it's interesting. There's people in the chat that there is some consensus about Poltergeist. Both Paul and Rachel saying that Poltergeist unsettled them. Which now I think that this guy that I spoke to earlier, who's my age, so he's 3 years younger actually. Sorry, he's 47, and he mentioned Poltergeist, but not as the two that first came up to him. But I think Poltergeist is because that's when a lot of us were still quite young when that hit. Was that 80, 81? And I think
was like 82, I think.
Was it 82? Oh, okay. So we were all relatively young at that point. And I also think, going back to a conversation we had a couple of weeks ago, I think the rating of that film meant that most of us could get in to see it. Yeah. And so whilst, your Exorcists and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
82. Okay. So your Exorcists would have been, you wouldn't have been able to go and see that. Not over here anyway. But Poltergeist as a PG or, over here or, PG-13 there.
It's PG here. That's PG, when you said that last week, I was thinking I still wasn't allowed to see it, and I was 12. I was almost 13 anyways, but it was still PG.
Yeah,
and I was 12 years old, and my mom's like, "No, it's still rated PG to this day. Even I just pulled it up. It's rated horror PG, hour 54, 1982. So,
yeah, I mean how they got that rating, I do not know. I mean, the child gets fed to a tree. There's the creepiest sort of ragdolliana doll ever seen by man. Yeah. And at the end, you get bodies coming up in the pool. Spoiler alert. You should have moved that. You only moved their headstones. And you get the I mean, that's a full-on movie.
Yeah, the ripping of the face, the all of that. I don't know. Yeah, it's how do they get away with that back then? But the standards were different then. They didn't have PG. It didn't exist. It was either PG. So there was so much. That's where PG-13 ended up coming in, because you had PG and then R. So it wasn't R. So, and they had standards for that. You can't do this. Otherwise it's going to be R. Okay. We didn't do that. We ripped the guy's face off, or he ripped it. Was it a guy or a woman? I forget.
Yeah. Well, you saw it not that long ago in 4K and I can't remember.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. People nowadays don't even get that movie. Why is the TV doing that? What's the snow on the screen? That doesn't even happen anymore. It's exactly. They were shut it off. It's broke.
Yeah, and they had these weird phones that you can't dial on.
Yeah, I don't even know what to do. Weird. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was. That's interesting. I mean, so this guy earlier had mentioned The Exorcist, and when I say The Exorcist, he saw it when it got re-released here in 98. 99, whenever it was, and he's a guy with some fortitude. he's not a wuss by any means, and he had read about that scene with the crucifix, which I'm not going to go into anymore, and he'd read about it before going in to see it, and he said all the way through, he said, I was expecting this thing to happen, and he said, and I got myself really worked up about it, and he's not religious, it's not a religious thing, he was just like, I just can't compute and process that. Yeah. And so when it happened, he said genuinely, he said, Steve, I felt funny. I felt faint. I felt like I was going to go. And he said, and that's never happened to me before or since. And he said, it really did affect him. And he was shaken by that. Now I think that's his imagination setting him up for something. Yeah. That perhaps isn't that bad. Because I mean, I saw that. I thought it was a bit ridiculous, really. But then anyway. And the other one he mentioned was one I shared, which is the end of the Blair Witch Project. The screaming and and all that stuff, and then the camera work, and then obviously Mike stood in the corner. Spoiler alert. And he said that really shook him as well. But what's funny about that is when I saw that, I saw it with a screener. Well, not a screener. It was a disc I shouldn't have had, which was from Sundance, and it was the longer version, and it was before it had even come out over here. So when I saw that, I thought it was real. I genuinely thought it was real, because people did, because word hadn't got out at that point.
Right.
And I must admit, that did shake me. Even watching it on a little portable DVD screen with headphones on, I was still really shaken by that ending until the credits rolled.
Yeah.
And then you realize it's a joke,
Yeah, exactly. But that's the basis of the entire movie, though. It's like if you were to believe it was real, that it would be shocking no matter what format you watch it on, because look at how it was filmed. It's the idea is you should be watching it on something like somebody found this, like found footage, right? And it didn't matter that the fact that it was on a big screen actually took away from that realism a little bit of like, no, check this out. This is real. And then you're like, this is horrible. This is real. And it's like, there's so much of it that it's like shocking. Then you get to the end of it and you feel like, oh, I feel stupid. And then, I don't think I've seen it since. And it's like,
oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think so. Because it really didn't mean much to me after because you're watching it in the theater, and same thing. I saw it early on before everybody knew what was going on, and that it was, that was fake. And you're like, oh, all right. And after that, it's like, all right, well, it's kind of like a mystery movie that loses its punch when it's not a mystery anymore. You know everything. So.
Yeah, well, quite well. So my answer to the question, one is an Italian movie from the 80s called Stage Fright, which was a horror film that I saw probably too young. Well, definitely too young, because I saw it in the 80s. So I mean, I was only a very young chap even then. And that's an Italian slasher movie where the killer's got an owl mask, sort of headdress mask thing, which is really freaky. And then I think, and so that's from when I was a lot younger. Also, When a Stranger Calls. Now that I saw way too young. That was in New Zealand. I would have been 6 or 7 when I saw that. The Go and Check the Children.
Yeah.
I mean, flipping heck.
Yeah.
I was way too young for that. Yeah. But and that did really.
So what's your absolutes then? Did you have 2 or like, because you're like,
well, I would, because those are really old. So you talk about when you're younger and then an adult one. I mean, the only one I would say as an adult, other than the Blair Witch, which I thought at that time was, it was really clever. The other one for me is The Witch, the Robert Eggers movie, The Witch.
Oh, okay.
Which where I have said on the show before, there's a bit in there where this goat looks as though it's talking. And I saw this in the old cinema room for the first time with headphones on, because it was 2:00 in the morning, and I had headphones on. And at some point, this goat appears to talk. Now, it's not. It's something even more messed up behind you. But I genuinely felt that I was losing my mind. I thought, I'm not, and this is what unsettled me. I thought, I'm not. Again, I can't process what I'm seeing, and I genuinely thought, I am going insane. I'm losing my mind here. This is really, really messed up. And that's the only modern movie I've seen in a long time that genuinely unsettled me. And I was just like, something's wrong here.
That's funny. Oh, yeah. There's something wrong there, Steve.
Yeah, well, this is true. This is true. Yeah. Have you seen The Witch?
I don't think so. I don't think it's a little bit sounded familiar, but I don't. Like when you first started saying it, I was like, oh, yeah. And then I was like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember. I did review it because I have got the 4K disc. I had to get it from the US, and I remember reviewing it on the show, but it was a long time ago. And I can't remember if you'd seen it. I think John had seen it, but had only seen it the once, and didn't react to it in the way I had. To be fair, I don't think many people did, which again says more about me than them. But yeah, no, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, again, we talked last week about comedy being so subjective. And yet, with horror is another one. It's not quite as subjective as comedy, but it is subjective because and again, Jordan says very, eruditely in the chat, says Hereditary is a film that affects me considering what my family's been through the last couple of years. So much with comedy, where what one person finds funny, someone else won't. With horror, you only take from it what you bring to it, and so what one person would find unsettling, someone else might find funny. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, Jordan. I'm talking generally. So so it's interesting. I mean, when The Exorcist came out, it was banned here in the 70s, so it didn't see the light of day. It was banned because people just weren't going to show that. And yet, when it came out then in the 90s here, 98, 99 here, people were laughing at it.
Yeah.
And yet in the 70s, it was banned. It just was that no one's going to see this film.
Yeah.
And, and it's interesting.
Standards
then,
have changed. Your
Mm-hmm.
acceptability of things have changed. You've been exposed to so much more. It's like, but I mean, that's the epitome of art, though. Really, it's like,
true,
I mean,
true.
it's like it goes to like in the original Daredevil series with Wilson Fisk looking at the white painting on the wall. And it's like, I mean, that's a lot of what you go through when you're in art school too, is like what speaks to one person won't speak to another. And it's like, and it can be a Jackson Pollock, which is splashes on a canvas. And it's like, somebody would be like, that's ridiculous. Another person would be like, that totally makes sense to me. I love it. Right. And that's art, and that's all of filmmaking, except, I mean, the only thing it isn't is like historical documentaries, like that didn't speak to me. It was World War II. It wasn't meant to. It's a documentary about World War II. Like,
there is one more I should mention as well, Deej, that really unsettled me and that shook me to my core and does to this day. The Fifth Element, obviously. Anyway,
different
reasons.
I've got a list I started jotting down when you started on the show here. Let me see if I can dig through it. Do you want the list of the top 10 alphabetical? Do you want there's been some gems in there.
There have. Eric says in the chat, The Witch is great. Midsummer's also great. Eric, that is the correct answer. Yes, they both are. Great indeed. Yeah,
very, very correct answer. There you go. All right. You can't go wrong by agreeing with Steve. That's all
Dom,
I know.
Now, Dom says this in the chat. Now, this is worth bringing. Oh, wrong one.
That's Eric.
It just jumped up. Yeah. So, Martyrs, he says, is super unsettling and upsetting. So tense. It is out here on 4K disc on Monday. So, the 27th.
It's heard of it.
It's a French film. Dom's been recommending it to me forever. And it's a French movie. And as I said, it comes out here in a special edition on Monday. So I will be purchasing that, and I will try and watch that, hopefully, in time for next week, Dom, hopefully, because I know he's been talking about it forever, as well, as I say. So, that one
it doesn't even exist over here.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's one for you, Deej.
Yeah, well, you never know. Some
no clowns in it.
Huh?
There's no clowns in it.
Or it might be for me. It might be for me. There you go. Oh, all right.
All right. Should we hit the go button?
Are we done clowning around? You ready to get to the show?
Oh, it's all good. That's a funny one.
Yeah, you're welcome. We practiced that one, everyone. Yeah, we did that one. I think we did a good job with it.
We did. We did. Felt like a real bozo.
Yeah. Well, you got the bald wig on. All right.
Hey.
We are Brightside Home Theater.
Hey, home theater nerd. Welcome to the Brightside Home Theater Podcast. A multi-award-winning home theater podcast that's all about the experiences, the sights,
the sounds,
the multi-award-winning scenes. It comes to something, Deej, where we're amusing each other with in-jokes from the two of us from before the show that no one's got a clue.
Nobody gets. Oh, just to let you know, I've never played second base. So that was deep cut there for second base. Huh?
No, I'm not going to say that. No, it's still early. I won't say that.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Nope. I've always gone from first to third. Just
sometimes I get accused of saying things that are inappropriate.
What?
Right.
What?
I don't know. I just said about which bases you got to. It's fine. No. Don't worry.
No. First to third, enough speed, slide head first into home. All right.
Hey, I'm sure you were very popular. Right. Okay. Sophia's in the chat, Deej.
Should we just start again? Oh boy.
We're here now. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, we're here. Let's go. What?
Steve Chat says, I had enough unsettling with Unhinged.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. That was the one.
The beginning of that's messed up in particular.
Who was it? Did I talk about that?
Shane.
Yeah, it was Shane. And I talked about how when Carl was on the show. And remember last year, and Larissa's like, who would write this? Like, yeah, it was unsettling.
Carl is sick.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's wicked.
Man, it's always the nice ones you've got to watch out for, guys.
Yeah.
The nicer guys they are. You know, there's a subconscious there, which, in fairness, Carl accepts he's got, which has issues.
Yeah, he likes thunder. At least, we know that.
But the opening of that is brutal. I mean, that's what Shane was talking about as well. That when he goes in with the hammer, I mean, it's just, oh God, and again, completely unprovoked, and it's all, worse nightmare stuff. So yeah, good old Carl.
Yeah, it'll be fun to talk to him. I gotta get back to him. Oh my God, the dogs are going nuts again. Here we go. Somebody's here.
Feeling a bit rough.
Oh. All right. You want to get to the chat?
Yeah. I got distracted.
What? What did you get distracted?
With our own hilarious repartee.
Yeah, our own humor. There we go.
Yeah. We amuse ourselves. That's the main thing. Right. Okay. All right. So in the chat. All right. So my captain's in. AC3 was first in. According to this, I don't know whether there was a reset, Captain, but if not, you were first. So Captain AC3 is in. Steve Atts in the chat, as we already know. Mikey's in. Hey, Mikey. Paul Hurt has dropped round. Hey, Paul. TSG's in. I haven't seen him for a couple of weeks, I don't think. So good to see you back in, TSG. He's our local boy, of course. And then we have, scrolling on down, some guy called Steve George. Don't know who that is. Dom Harper is just
sure you don't.
Tom. Yeah, well, it's very philosophical. One doesn't know oneself. So bonsoir to Dom. Guten Tag to Holger. Holger's in as well. Hey, Holger. Nice. They're just all these different languages, Deej. We're going multinationals. Right?
I know. That's called international, but okay.
International, national, international, worldwide.
International.
It's all good.
Incoherent.
Klingon. You've seen all of Big Bang Theory. What's Klingon for good evening? Do we know?
I can't speak Klingon.
What? Shocked.
No.
Okay. Right. Hey, Rachel's in as well. And Beth's in. Hey, Beth.
John Beth in the house.
Oh, yeah, she's in. Eric's in. We know Eric Ridgely with some great recommendations for horror movies. Blind Guy's in. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Again. So you're gonna get us into trouble, Deej.
I think he takes the jokes. Okay.
He does. Oh yeah, no, I agree.
He takes the jokes before anybody gets upset. Like Tom used to bust on me on AV Rant, and people would write in, "Stop it! He's a nice guy." Like Tom, they'd mention me like, "Who's that? I don't know him." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why can't you be nice to him?
There we go. All right. Well, that's the one. And Ariel dropped in as well from X as always. Hey, Ariel, good to see you, buddy. Yeah. Jordan's in again. I think I said Jordan.
Jordan's still in.
He's still there. Still here. He hasn't gone yet. He hasn't forsaken us. Johnny Speaker's in. Hey, Johnny.
Johnny, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, and then Manuel Diaz. So Buenas tardes is in as well. So good to see. Good to see. Yeah, look at that. That's what, 4 languages? That's pretty good going, Deej. Yeah. And occasionally I can speak American. And so we'll call that 5.
I can't even speak that one.
Aluminum. Yeah, it's fine.
Aluminum. It's correct. Do you want me to write it out for you? I don't know why you put that minium in there. Like you throw that extra letter in. That's not. Yeah. Greg the Awesome Ninja just dropped in. Bien.
Man, he's showing off his multilingual credentials as well.
No, that's just that's a typo. He's trying to write hi.
Trying to say hi to his buddy Ben.
Yeah, hi Ben. Bien.
I hope you made it back okay, Greg. By the way, from the trip across country.
Yeah.
Got back all right, all good.
Yep. They flew home the same day I did.
Okay, same flight or just same day?
No, actually, there was chances of delay. I can't believe I didn't say that last week, but we all flew in Sunday into Monday. Well, early Monday morning, like 12 to 1, but we left Salt Lake at 4 p.m.
Mm.
and we did like a quick up and down, Salt Lake, Denver, and then had a little, short layover there. We were actually late, but we made that one, and then Denver to Providence. They left Salt Lake at 5 o'clock and flew direct to Logan in Boston.
Oh, okay.
They got delayed in Boston because of the storm or whatever, and they had to circle for a little bit. I don't know if it was like the wind wasn't right, they didn't want them to land, but they said they circled for like 45 minutes. And then because we landed relatively like almost on time, I think, something like that, like 1 a.m. or something. And so we land, and I texted Meg. I'm like, "Hey, how you guys doing?" I figured they were on their way home. And they're like, "Oh, we're on the runway still. We just landed, and we're still in the plane on the runway." I was like, "Oh, so did we?" And they're like, "I'm like, you flew direct, left an hour after us, and we had a layover, and we got home at the same time." So there was we were getting warnings that the flights were supposed to get canceled then. So.
I'll bet Greg then had a bit of an uncomfortable flashback to Die Hard 2 then.
Yeah.
With the plane. So
circling
over the
yeah,
man.
Yeah, exactly.
So. Look at see DJ, sometimes I think is home theater fans maybe get a bum rap. Okay. I think sometimes people think that home theater fans, and perhaps just our viewers and listeners, may not be the most highly educated people. But Jordan stepped in to prove us wrong, or those people wrong, with this. I don't know how you say that, but is how you say good evening in Klingon. Jordan, you're a legend.
Oh boy! Well, do we know?
You want to give that? Do you want to try that?
Yeah, Maj Chos.
Maj Chos. Hey, without the New York accent, DJ.
Oh, sorry. Oh, Maj Chos.
Maj Chos over here.
Maj Chos. Right here. Make it a double. I don't know. What did I just order? A soup? I don't know. Rachel's getting a lot of nachos. I know that.
Yeah, I was going to say, not chas. Buenas noches.
No chas.
Hey, that's what's going on. We're getting no chas.
Oh my God. Can we offend anybody else?
Yeah,
anybody else? Going. Speak up. We'll offend you too.
What up, Manuel? Yeah, Manuel. We buenos aquí.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Last I checked, we were in 56 countries. Let me do a quick check. Down to 2.
Yeah. And that's the East Coast and the West Coast.
Yeah. We'll get to you. Oh boy.
No, man. Awesome. Yeah, no, fair play. Very cool. So hello to everyone. Everyone's in. And all present and correct. Which is good because boy, have we got some stuff to talk about tonight.
Yeah, we got
potentially some disagreement, Deej, as I understand it, from your hints pre-show.
Yeah.
Oh man, get ready then, guys. Strap on the helmets, everyone.
It's not brutal, but it's not like, I don't know. You want to lead off with this?
Yeah, God, yeah. Let's go on. Might as well.
Go on. I'll just pull that up right here. All right. Let's
brace yourselves, people.
Let's see, where does it? Wait, okay, that's it right there. All right, here's this week's version of Clown in a Cornfield. Brought to you, I believe it's in the same format as what you saw it in, Steve.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. What do we got here? Yeah, 4K SDR.
Yeah.
4K SDR, and DTS Master Audio 5.1. And it's, basically, this, I think, if I remember correctly, this is the first movie I've seen in this theater that was upmixed.
Okay.
I don't think I've watched anything that's been 5.1 yet, since I put the Atmos in. So, am I wrong? Do you think of anything that I might have seen? Because I don't remember making note of it. And
no, I think you've been doing the newer releases, haven't you?
Yeah, the newer releases. And and I did it last week, which was That's Atmos, and that was really good.
Yeah.
Excellent. We'll talk about that in a bit again. But for audio wise, I thought it upmixed well. I thought it was a nice mix. I really can't. There's some nice atmospherics. Dialogue is clear. Wish it wasn't. There was no, and there were like the sounds were good. I can't think of anything in this movie though that I was like blown away by audio wise. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like you say, the atmospherics is the thing. It's the chainsaws that move around and the giggling clowns.
Yeah.
That you,
in the fields
hear as well. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I mean. Like the atmospherics and stuff like that. And like, you don't know where things are, but you could hear them. And then the character, you know, like usual, the characters look and you go there. There wasn't
the clown shoes, the squeaking of the clown shoes is quite fun as well.
Yeah. In the opening scene, I thought was like leading to like a ripoff from Jaws, right? Like literally with a cornfield instead of an ocean. But it was that one there was in the opening scene, and it had me hopeful. There was a sound that came down the left side and up and around, and it actually moved nicely around the room like that. I think something was moving over there. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was like, oh, that was really cool. That was fun. So it was a fun mix. It's not like I'd say run out and get this for its audio. And then the picture, much of the same. At the beginning, I thought there was like heavy grain, but then there was in some of the darker shots, but then later on, there was some really, really nice shots. Some like even some of the darker shots, and then they'd come into with like lights or color. Like it wasn't full lights on, but the character was lit. Very vibrant. There's, you know, the clown mask, all that stuff. It was nice. I would say the picture to me was inconsistent because there was some really nice imagery, but then there was other times where I was like, what happened here? It looked a little too grainy. And so that was, you know, okay. So as a home theater experience overall, it was decent. It was good. It added to the movie for me, for sure. It was kind of like because the movie came in down here for me. It was kind of low. I get like you're like, oh, it's a clown in a cornfield. Yay. Like, oh, it's the movie's better than the title. I'm like, no, it's what it is. It's what it is. And I like there was so much to it that I don't want to give it away. I don't want to spoil it for anybody if you haven't seen it. But I don't get the motivation of the killing is ultimately what it is.
It's generational, I think.
But there's no reason why, right? Like, I get it, but she didn't have to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like again, I don't want to give it away, but it was like some of the people were like, you know, now to anybody that hasn't seen it, it'd be like, well, there's no reason for Jason to be chasing people around and killing them. There's no reason for Mike Myers. He just doesn't but that's the basis of the movie. They just don't want to do it. Right.
Yeah.
This one here, they actually tried to write a story on why this was happening, but they never tell you why they had to be killed, why people were being killed. There was never any, it was, you find out why the clown or whatever killed, and you're like, but they were like, I don't even know. I can't even say you found out why they killed. It was just like, that's it. Okay. I don't know. It's like, I'd love to have like a open discussion about like a spoiler discussion about it, but there was no reason. And they tried to give a reason and it wasn't there. And so I was like, so that kind of had me. But it was entertaining with the humor. They poked fun at the movie. They poked fun at horror movies. They poked fun at how much like this kind of movie, like if there's one character says, I feel like I'm in a horror movie from like, I don't know, she said the 80s or the 90s or whatever.
Which of course is what it's definitely going for.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was going for. And I was just like, I thought that was funny. Then they also point, you know, like to your point, the generational stuff that you said before was funny. Yeah, like that stuff I enjoyed. That was good. So it was like, it's not like I wasn't entertained, but as far as like the horror aspect of it, I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a scary film.
No.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. It's not, and again, I'm not entirely sure it's meant to be that scary. At least not in a really shake you kind of way. This is a throwback slasher movie that is designed to appeal to those of us what love these sorts of things. And you know, it is very funny at times. I mean, I think the film is very entertaining. I mean, it's interesting that the video has no HDR, but I don't think it needs it. And the photo that you sent me of it, I think shows you don't need it. In fact, because it actually just doesn't need it. It looks great without it. Albeit, you know, like I said, inconsistent, I think is fair. But yeah,
well, because I think what happened is like you said, you don't need HDR with this because the shots that are really nice, they're so well lit. And when I say that, I don't mean like it's a bright scene. It could be a dark scene, but the way the light, there's bright light on it, casting like a very dynamic shadowed, very dynamic look. And that is captured really well. Where the grain comes in is maybe some of the more dimly lit scenes where it's, you know, you don't have as dynamic of a contrast between light and dark. And the camera was just like, it was struggling. Right, because maybe they weren't using HDR or whatever, so that's maybe where you get some of that inconsistency. But that when it looks good, I mean, like you said, it looks really, really nice.
Deej, can I interrupt you a minute? My StreamYard's corrupting a bit. It's going a bit weird. If I refresh my screen or come out of it, is that going to mess with the recording, or is that going to be okay? Because I just want to come out, come back in. You okay for a second?
Yeah, you can come out and come back in. I'll just have two of them. Okay. Just have to put button.
Oh, sorry, man. Big deal. Sorry,
no, don't worry about it.
Corrupted. I can't see anything. So give me 2 seconds and I'll come back in. Okay,
all righty. I will keep everybody entertained. I'll start dancing or something. So yeah, clown in the cornfield. What are people saying in the chat here? It's like I've seen quickly. I think most people think I'm wrong. Let me see. There's an exact reason why there's an exact reason why the killings were happening. I can't say it without spoiling the film though. I agree with you, Jordan, that there is a reason, but it doesn't have to happen. It's a reason why, and that's what I'm saying about the film. I know exactly what you're saying, Jordan. There is a reason why the killings were happening, but it didn't have to happen. And there's other parts, like, I don't even think it had to be clowns. It didn't. I get why they did that, but yeah, it was like, I get what you're saying, Jordan. I don't know if you saw that one, Steve. Is he said there was an exact reason in the movie, and there is, and that's the point. But that in like, I'm not saying this movie has to be grounded, but at the same time, that doesn't even make sense because you didn't have to do that in this particular thing, in this particular scenario, right? It wasn't like there weren't killings because of revenge. There weren't killings for protection. There weren't because everything would have, if the killings never happened, what the people wanted would have still happened. It's the way it was, you know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of like the, that Big Bang Theory. I don't know. Did you get to the one where Amy spoils Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Oh no, not yet. Not yet. We've been racing through season 4.
Oh my God.
But I haven't got to that bit yet.
That one there, it's like, it's the opening scene. So it's like, but they go through it and she points out, like, Sheldon watches Raiders of the Lost Ark with her at the beginning. And he goes, what'd you think? And she goes, it was great. And he's like, except for the fact that Indiana Jones played no role in the movie. And he's like, what do you, you forgot who he was. He was the one in the hat with the whip, right? And she goes, yeah, and he played no role in the movie. He wasn't
doesn't
there.
Affect the events at all. Yeah,
exactly. Everything would have played out exactly the way it did. And they spend the whole episode all going, but what about, oh yeah, that would have happened. That's kind of like this movie. If the killings never happened, what these people, what they wanted would have still happened. It's like there was no threat to that. It was just like, okay. So that's why I was like, it didn't have to do that. And that's why I was just like, I think that's weird.
Yeah, I think you're reading too much into this old-fashioned slasher type movie where, you know, there are certain staples of a movie like this, and you know that. I know.
Okay.
I'm not.
No, I know.
At least I don't think I am. But you know, you've got to have small town or you know, small location. Okay, you've got to have that because events have to take place in an enclosed environment. Because if they just leave the state, that's the end of the movie. So you've got to have small town campfire. You know, Elm Street. You know, you've got to have one little place. You know, Camp Crystal Lake. Okay, you've got to have a small kind of environment. You've got to have masked killer, and you've got to have teenagers that are in real life in their 40s. And you've got to have, and then you've just got to have and certain interactions between them, as mentioned in Scream, and then you have to have killings, and that's kind of all you have. And I think any movie that tries to go beyond that is trying to be something more than just a slasher movie. You know, Halloween, Michael Myers, he's just killing babysitters, and that's what he's doing. You know, Freddy Krueger, well, there's a motivation because of the parents, but then that's about it. No reason for them to do what he's doing in reality. You know,
right?
Jason,
but he's actually not doing it in reality. He's doing it in the dream world, right?
Yep. Yeah,
you see what I mean. So they did that, and they actually
Mm-hmm.
put a story to it on why he did this. And you see what I mean? Everything you're naming is exactly what I'm talking about. Mike Myers, they gave no reason, no nothing. He just went and killed babysitters. That's it. There was no other reason. In this movie, they gave a reason, but the reason didn't make sense. It's not that killing babysitters. There is no reason. He had no vengeance against them. In this movie, they tried to say that we're doing this for a reason. We're doing this for, you know, and they say stuff in the movie, and you're like, you didn't have to do that. You know, you didn't. And I think a lot of people would be like, well, Mike Myers didn't have to do what he did. Right. Yeah. And nobody ever said, like, exactly. He's a psycho. So, like, when you see that, if you haven't seen this movie and Jordan has, it's like, you wouldn't have that. That lost me. I was like, I was waiting for something like, we have to do this. It was something like, at first I was thinking it was like the lottery. Right.
Okay.
I was going along with that, and they could have gone in that direction. Like, this is what we do. And it's a, you know, something like that. It didn't even go in that direction. It just went like, nope, we're going to do. Why? It's like, it didn't go that far. Or it went too far for no reason. It didn't have to do that. But and all the examples you gave is exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, so we're concerned about a lack of logic in a movie called Clown in a Cornfield.
Oh, yeah. Well, because it tried to give it logic. I'm not concerned with it. If you went just with a clown in a cornfield, like Freddy Krueger is a great example. They actually gave a tiny bit of logic on why this, how does he get those powers? How does he do this? How does he end up in your dream? I don't know, but here's how it started, and you go with that, and you leave your brain at the door for that. This one tried to bring some logic to it, and you're like, no, you failed. You can't bring logic.
Yeah. I hear you, and obviously, you know, valid points. But I think with this, it's the whole thing is a joke. The whole thing is an in joke, as in the audience are in on this. It's, you know, I think the whole thing is supposed to be more light-hearted than that. I think it's, and I say that within the confines of a slasher movie, but I think it's supposed to be the whole thing's a bit of a joke. Everyone's a bit of an idiot.
Oh,
and so I think you're supposed to laugh at the film, laughing with you, if that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah.
I get it. And again, you as always, again, Deej, voice of reason. Whereas, and this will be the only place we say this, according to you.
Only place
I
in the
think
world
for those of us that love this crap,
exactly. I want
exactly
my movies to be my horror. It's not even, that's not a joke. It's like, I like them to be more grounded. I like, what was the one we watched with Chris Hemsworth? He was in
Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, and I felt the same way about that one. Remember, I was like,
well, that had a reason for it. In fairness,
it did, but I was like,
a bit like your one that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, but I'm still like, I don't know if that would happen. Like, it's still, I need a little more grounding than that.
You know, which is absolutely fair. I mean, again, horror. There are different genres, different types. Some, you know, appeal to more people than others. But I would put this. I mean, I think it's better than Thanksgiving, but I think it's a sister movie to things like Thanksgiving. Modern comedic horror movies with trying to tick all those staples of the genre that we were just talking about a few minutes ago, and then give it a little bit extra for the modern audience. But I think they know what they are, and I think they're made by people that love these slasher movies from the 80s, that grew up on the same kind of crap that I did and loved it and still do, which is why it's so much fun. And it is very funny. I mean, it is laugh out loud funny. The bit that, again, you sent me the text about the generational humor is very, very funny and unexpected if you haven't seen the trailer. So yeah, I recommend it. I appreciate DJ again, you give a more grounded approach to it. But I mean, I love it, and I think it definitely.
Again, it's not the worst horror movie I've seen. Trust me.
That's Malignant, isn't it, or Evil Dead Rise?
That was up there. That was up there where I was like,
which I still think is great.
Yeah, and there's So it's not the worst. I was entertained. It was fun. I just like that one part of the story. I was like, come on. So we have where was it? Where did it go? I just saw it. Oh, Steve. He's like, I guess since it's October, we're going to be doing a lot of horror stuff. Not like normal, like we do it anyway. But I forgot we even have that graphic. I just threw a little pumpkin up there, so a little jack-o'-lantern.
That time of year again.
Here we go. Here we
do have some other stuff.
We got. I don't know if I do. I've got all except for one. I got all except for one. So, all right,
okay.
That'll do it for that one. What do you want to go with?
Shall we change gears then and do the kiddie one?
Okay. Yeah.
And then we can go back to horror because I've got plenty of all of it.
Caca. Where did that go? Caca. I can't believe I'm using
because you got your
picture. Is it all you have horror?
No. I've got 1, 2.
Well, why don't we? You want to do? Let's do this one.
Oh, go on then.
We'll save the other one because I have that one too, and it's like, and then I only have the other one. So
okay, fine.
So
let's do this.
We'll have you do one on your own here that I can't speak to, but yes. All right, here we go.
Okie dokie then. This then is not that you necessarily know it from that picture. Apologies.
If you've seen it, you do. How do you not know that scene?
Well, true. Yeah, but the moving menus with no title at all is Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. And I put a question mark in there because it ain't. Anyway.
Yeah.
So this is in 4K UHD Dolby Atmos. And this was my first watch of this film this week in Cinema George. Didn't see it in cinemas. I didn't watch screeners of it, even though I did have access to them. I waited to see this in Cinema George for my first viewing, and I am really glad that I did. Okay, now let's deal with the film first. So this is an interesting movie, this one. I think this one is unique amongst the Mission Impossible films because this one, for me, was the most messily plotted of them all. This movie is all over the shop in terms of its story. And funny enough, I listened to, again, Fat Man Beyond, so the Kevin Smith, Mark Bernard podcast a while back, and they talked about 2 movies being shot and smushed together. And this has all the hallmarks of exactly that. They shot one movie, which was the sequel to Dead Reckoning Part 1. And then they shot another one, which is Final Reckoning, and they've pushed them 2 together. And I think the joins show, and I think that it is messy, whereas most, if not all, of the Mission Impossible movies are marked by the simplicity of their plot. It is literally, Ethan, we need your help. Why? What have I got to do? You need to find that, get that, take it there, done. And then we save the world. This is so messily plotted that there are entire scenes, there's multiple scenes through its nearly 3-hour runtime of characters going, why are we doing this? Because we've got to do that. But why don't we do this? Well, because we can't do that. But what if this happened? Yeah, but you can't. There are so many explainer scenes because the plot is so messy and it's blatant too. They don't even try and hide it. So I thought the movie is messily plotted, is what I thought, and I think it trips over itself because of how it's trying to overcomplicate something that it doesn't need to complicate. So that's one thing. However, I did enjoy it. The sequences that everybody knows about, so because the plane one, because that's on the box, That one, because it's there and it's been in all the trailers. Those sequences are awesome and fantastic, and they make the movie and they keep the movie going, and I think that some of the character interchanges are good, some less so, but some are very good. Angela Bassett's great in it, and the scenes in that office I think are really well done and really well put together. So I did enjoy it, but I think this is the weakest of them all for me. This is the one I'll probably watch the least, only because I haven't got a week to sit and watch it. But I think this is the one that I'll probably rewatch the least. However, so movie is good, but it's not great. Is after one viewing. However, the HT experience is fantastic, I would say. It's a Paramount disc. I think the video on it is awesome. I love the variable aspect ratio stuff in this. I love how it moves in and out and it plays with it. Todd is not going to watch it, by the way, because of that.
Yeah.
But he and I had a couple of tweets about it. But I think it's awesomely used. The way they use it in this is really good, and it actually brings you into a scene that I think otherwise might have just been quite pedestrian. So the water sequence, absolutely. The whole airplane thing at the end is three-dimensional as all hell, and you almost feel you're kind of being blown back in your seat as they zip around. I mean, it looks awesome when it does that, and then you get the audio, and I think the audio on this is reference. I think that the surround stuff when you're in these action sequences, obviously not all of it because lots of it's talky, but when you've got these action sequences, the audio is reference. I mean, the Atmos stuff is all around. The bass is fantastic, especially in the underwater scene where it just seems to just be bassy right through. And it was enough. Again, I mentioned this person a while back who has said he doesn't like movies, who came strolling into the cinema room whilst this bit was going on, whilst the underwater sequence was going on. Did say, "Is that Tony Cruise?" I'd say I don't know Tom Cruise. But then found himself just sat there in silence for whatever it is, like the 10, 15 minutes of the sequence, clearly just rapt with what was going on. And that is because of the video, the audio, because he had no context for the movie, hadn't seen any of the rest of it, and that says to me cinema. Walk in, I'm there. What am I seeing? And so that spoke volumes to me. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic disc of a good movie. Is what I would say.
Right, where it enhanced the movie for sure.
100%. Which again is why I'm glad I saw it in Cinema George. Yeah,
absolutely. I would say, I mean, I can't disagree with you at all. Not at all. The only thing I would say is I was probably more forgiving after my first viewing because I just enjoy the franchise so much, which I think you are too, to be fair. If you had to rank them out, this is probably going to come in last, right? So I didn't even go there when I talked to, I was just like, I just really enjoyed it, this and that, but I cannot disagree with you at all because it is very convoluted, right? Like the entire story.
Unnecessarily so. Yeah.
Well, and now here's where I'm going to bright side the bejesus out of this. Because as you were saying that, I was thinking, I'm thinking the same thing. But I honestly did think this when I'm watching the movie. So think back to all the other Mission Impossibles. The convoluted part was within the mission itself, right? So it's like, Ethan, we need your help and we need this. And go back to the first one. We've got to break into our own vault. And then the convoluted part was then we got to get by this and we got to get by this and then this. And then once we've done that, if we've been able to do all that, we got to do this. Oh, that's not bad. Now we got to get out and then you got to do this and that's how the whole franchise went. They just kept upping the rat's maze. Yeah. The one mission that was that rat's maze, right? So they kept upping it. Okay. Instead of doing that this time, they made it they made it a global event. Like the timing had to be perfect. Everything. But we got to do this, and we got to trust this, and we're like, you're gonna do this, and you're gonna find it, and you're gonna all meet in one spot, and be like, yep. And I think, and this is where I think if you watch it a second time on the second viewing, you see all those cues going through where they're like, how's that going to happen? They've already told you, they've shown you all the way through the movie what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's in their imagination. And then that's how it plays out, which is so cool. Right. And it's like, obviously it's they're filming the movie, so they just show that shot. But you're like, I know on this underwater scene how he gets out of the water, if you will, without spoiling it for people that don't know. On my first viewing, I didn't notice when they do the shot of like, yep, and you're going to have to come up here, blah, 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 and we're going to do this for you. I didn't notice in the first viewing, nothing's on him when they do the flash to it. And then you realize he's like, you see that scene play out and you're like, oh my God, you know, and they say they do those different scenes where he will go, sorry, he says to a cat, remember, that was never part of our plan. And he hadn't told them that. And that's where the characters in this movie don't know what's going on, because he knows and the people that need to know, and you don't know, the characters don't know, but people know, and everything happens. And you're like, that's Mission Impossible. Like, this could never happen. Right.
Yeah.
That's the point. Now, I get it for you. You're right. It's like, why couldn't we do it? It is convoluted, but that's me bright siding it. Okay.
Yeah. And which
story wise, I don't know. It's like, you're probably right. This is me just trying to, you know, make a pig smell like a rose, I guess. I don't know. What's the saying?
Polish a turd.
Yeah, I don't like.
It's not that bad, in fairness. It's not that bad.
Oh, no, because it's highly, highly entertaining. It's just get from one scene to the next, and you're like, oh my God. You know, like I said, they chose the color of those planes, the vibrancy. It's like against the backdrop of the green earth or the water, and then you get the red, the yellow, this and that. I mean, it just jumps off the screen.
Oh, yeah, that was one of the clunkiest lines, as well as I think in all of them. And I bought a spare. Wink at the audience, you know. So,
here we go.
Oh wow,
who does that?
Yeah, that was the clunkiest line I think in all of them. Was like, oh wow, it's like, did you get that, everyone?
The guy that's trying to stop you from getting away, you tell him you have a plane, and then you also tell him you have a backup, so that if he's gonna stop you, he's gonna get the plane and go, oh, I forgot to get the backup. No, he's gonna like, why would you give any of it away? Like,
but then there's also that again, and obviously we don't want to spoil it because there are people that haven't seen it. But again, it's this the motivation. I mean, you talk about why they're doing what they're doing in Town and the Cornfield. It's very murky why some of the characters are doing what they're doing in this. And one of them, I swear, is I need to get away so he can come to me. And what? You know, it just no, stay where you are then, and he'll come to you. Why do you have to run away for him to come to you? And I'm just, come on. And you know, and that was a first viewing, but it just that was an so as you felt with Clown in the Cornfield, I felt my intelligence is being insulted here. Yeah, and I just so. Look, I get that they had a very difficult time filming this. They really did. I mean, they again, this thing, the two movies is no joke. They really did. They had a sequel, and of course, when the prequel underperforms, you've then got to do something different. So they then get back together, film it all again, try and make it fit together, which they do with these anyway. As I said to you before, they shoot the action sequences and then try and make a story around them. But I think here it's really blatantly obvious that that's what they did. And I think the runtime doesn't help it. I think that tests the patience of the audience.
Absolutely.
So you've got to then have something that keeps the attention. And I think at times that's strained because it's just, you know, crazy long. So there is a lean and mean version of this somewhere where you could cut out 45 minutes or more and just have this B to C. And have you think, and suddenly it's taut, and it's a Fury Road style chase movie where it's like, you know, edge of your seat throughout, rather than, you know, oh, what time is it? How much longer have I got? Right, okay, I'm out. Can you get on with saving the world, please, Ethan? I've got things to do.
yeah.
So, you know,
no, but highly entertaining. I would say must own home theater disc.
Oh yeah. This will be in my 10. This will be in my 10.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, it's like, you know, since you and Todd had your discussion, it's like I was going to chime in there, but I figured to wait for the show. But it's like, I think it's funny that the people that don't like variable aspect ratios all have, you know, a CinemaScope screen. And it's like, I don't like it. It's like everything gets smaller. Like, yeah, but if you had a 16:9, you know. So, yeah, it's just, it is funny.
I'm not sure Todd's a big fan of these anyway, in fairness, because he's had the
Mission
opportunity of seeing
Impossibles.
it and has it. Yeah, I don't think he is. I mean, I'll let him speak to that on the 25-hour show. But there's your first topic, Deej.
Oh yeah.
Variable
Oh
aspect
yeah.
ratio.
It's always fun to go at it. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, when I had my projector, I wasn't a huge fan of them. But I did, this is what, me and Travis would go back and forth on this all the time. And we both had projectors. I had 16:9, he had CinemaScope. So we had different motivations for not liking it. Which helped me in the movies that I felt like it worked so well. Like a Sinners, right? Where it works so well. It's part of the movie. Whereas I felt like Aquaman or whatever, or even Maverick, it was gimmicky. I didn't feel like you needed it there. It didn't, it just didn't, it added to it, those jet fighter scenes and stuff in Maverick, but it wasn't necessary. And I know because I've watched, I've masked it and used the Lumigen to border it out, and it was awesome. And just a lot of people saw it that way in cinemas because they didn't have an IMAX screen. So,
but I think it's not gimmicky in this. I think it's used.
I didn't
well
think so
this.
either.
Yeah, I think it's used to give you excitement, to drag you into this sequence. I think it gives it again. I mean, it's a delivery system enhancing the home theater experience, or the movie. Because I think without that, there's still exciting sequences, but I think they lose a degree of dimensionality, and I mean that both literally and figuratively, without that change in the ratio. I mean, it's made for home theater. This it really is.
It is. It is. And it's, and there's something to be said for how close you're sitting. Like if you're sitting further away, your field of view isn't as great. It's not as dramatic. And then it just, even if you have a 16:9 screen, where I'm sitting fairly close to this 16:9 screen. And so when it goes from that, you feel like you've just moved into the movie. Like you feel like you got pulled into it. Whereas if you're sitting further away and your field of view, it doesn't feel like your field of view changes that much when it happens, you're not going to get the full impact. Right. No. And that's the idea, is that all of a sudden you go, what the heck? That's the idea of those shots. Same in Maverick, really. It's like you go, wow, all right, I can see that. It's like, but for people like a Travis and a Todd that love that wide screen, that wide field of view, they don't want that dramatic. It is really a matter of perception of like, I like the sweeping, I don't want that look. It doesn't impress them as much,
Yeah.
So
well, Sinners of course makes particularly use of it because it goes from the different, it's not 239 to 16:9. It goes from 276 to 16:9, and I mean
slowly back.
Really feel well. A couple of times it
pulls in.
It cuts to it. Those the cotton fields. There's one shot where it just goes from this to that, and you're like, whoa, and you feel it's almost jarring the way it does it, and I love that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've had some interesting uses of VAR this year actually with movies. But yeah, no, it's good. So like I said, great disc, good movie.
Nice. All right, there we go. So,
Tony Cruz knows what he's doing.
Tony Cruz.
It made me laugh when he said it. Is that Tony Cruz? No, Tom Cruise. Oh yeah.
You're so close. You're so close. Yeah. Let's see. I don't really have anything else other than, oh no. All right. We can go with this one.
Oh yeah.
The second viewing of what you, and then maybe after this we'll go into the one that you did.
Yeah. It's all synergy.
It's all synergy.
Yeah,
synergy. Yeah. Symbiotic, whatever you want to call it. Probiotic. I don't know.
Antibiotic.
Oh, all right. So, again, this is this week's viewing. We're talking this week's viewing of The Invisible Man from 2020 with Elizabeth Moss. 4K, Dolby Atmos, HDR. I took it in this week on Kaleidoscape. And this is the much ballyhooed version of the movie that brought Steve and I together at some level.
I think Midway did that, Deej, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
And Lucy.
And But yeah, this movie here, and I hadn't seen it in maybe over a year, maybe longer. I can't remember. But seeing it again and seeing, and really paying attention to the story again, it's just like, I was like, oh my God, every time I see it, I'm like, I was such an idiot. How did I miss all that? How did I miss everything? Like a lot, like, I mean, I sounded like after seeing this movie, didn't I see? I mean, I was an idiot. I sounded like I just sounded with Clown in the Cornfield.
Because it didn't make sense. Why didn't they? Yeah, I get you.
Like, why would she do that? Who would do that? And then you and I had a private conversation, and I was like, I'm an idiot. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, but that's a good thing, because then it means you hadn't experienced it. I only see it that way because of the experience I've got. I think it's a good thing you didn't read it that way, because
I understand it when you see it that way. But yes, I didn't. It wasn't I wasn't hypersensitive to it. It didn't take it's not like I didn't know about it, right? But it's like I was like, oh my, and it didn't take much for me to see it that way. I just was going into this as pure horror and looking at it in a way of like, what the heck? Why would she do that? She just set herself up for everything. She did it didn't make sense to me. And then we have our conversation. I watch it again and I'm like, it's literally one of my favorite horror movies now. And I mean, story-wise, it's excellent. It plays so well, hits home so hard at times, and you're just like, and Elizabeth Moss is amazing. Some of the tight shots, the close-ups and everything, where on her face and how like crazy they make her, like she's like, I'm not, and it's like, oh my God, an amazing job in this movie.
Yeah, she looks terrified. She really does. And
yes.
You buy that,
right.
And vulnerable. Yeah.
And what's amazing is like she looks, she's terrified, but you could see that that same look. The characters in the movie don't think she's terrified. They think she's crazy.
Yeah, manic.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're like to pull that off, to understand, that goes to the writing, it goes to her acting, the directing, the cinematography. It's like how they do all that. Like you can understand every other character in the movie reacting the way they do to her. And then, but you can also see she's like, it's just like hopeless. It's great. I mean, it's awesome. Awesome.
It is.
Picture wise.
I think just quickly, because on the movie, because this is something we didn't touch on last week, and I was kind of kicking myself in the week as I was listening back to it, thinking, should have. The only thing that I think there is a concession the movie make. I'm not going to spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but there is a concession the film makes at the end, which it could be argued, slightly cheapen it, in as much as this has a resolution, whereas. And I get from a filmic point of view why that makes sense, and a story point of view. Whereas in real life, of course, there would not be that resolution. What happens at the end of this is not what happens 9.99999 times out of 10 in real life. And I think there is an argument to say it cheapens it in terms of its real themes that it's getting at. But I get from a dramatic and a storytelling point of view why they wanted that resolution. It does stuff them for a sequel, by the way, because Elizabeth Moss has been saying in the last couple of weeks she's jonesing for a sequel. But of course, it actually has a finite ending.
Yeah.
So that I think is a slight detraction from it, but only very slightly, because that doesn't ring true. But it is nevertheless.
It cheapens it. To a degree, and I agree with you, because I thought the same thing, especially in this viewing. I kind of thought it, because I was like, you're so into that part of the story, and then the end, you're like, oh, okay. But at the same time, that could also be a nod to, this is what, if if it was possible, this is what they'd want to do, and you're like, but it's not possible. And how many, so, yeah, no, I agree with that. But I was going to say on the picture, it's like this one for me, it wasn't in Dolby Vision, but it's a gorgeous picture. Even going right to the beginning with that, we'll talk about the audio in a second, but the opening scene in the waves and the title, the way the title appears, and then by the water making it, which is
not to the rest. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Foreshadowing what happens later. But the bright in that scene, it's a really dark scene. It's a night scene of the waves crashing on the rocks. But then how they highlighted that, I thought was it in the HDR is really, really being tested in that opening scene really well.
Yes. Yeah.
And it is throughout the movie, right? It's like there are scenes where you've got to pay attention to everything on screen, every little detail, because things go missing, things move, and you're like, what the heck? So that's a lot of fun. But yes, then the audio is insane all the way through the movie, from the opening scene of the waves crashing, the bass, and I think they do that on purpose. They bring you into that with, as you said last week, it's like that crashing sound, that voluminous bass in the room, and it's raising your awareness, raising your level of tolerance in the room for the loud noises. And then there's most of the movie, it's like all gone. And you're sitting there scared, and you're hearing like and
A little chittering.
I mean, it is ridiculous. You want your noise floor in your theater to be like as close to zero as you can for this movie, and that will greatly enhance the movie, because there are little and like atmospheric ones there, like, and then the like what where it is awesome. And then there are louder bangs that bring you back into it, create jump scares, all of that. It's absolutely. I mean, we should just review this every year.
And that's before you get to the storm and the rain and the water. I mean, that one sequence, I think, is Atmos demo material.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's not on an Atmos, demo disc, because that's just crazy. I mean, listen, with that, it's the texture of the water. There is different types of water being presented in that mix. You're not just hearing one, the kind of of rain.
Right.
You listen for the different kinds of water.
Yeah, when she ducks behind the car, and then there's bigger drips coming off, and then you have the rain and the thunder. And there was, I could say it spoiler free, but there's one part of the movie where she's watching, you could see she's working a plan, and in the background they have the weather person giving the weather, and that big storm's coming through. And the way this movie plays out, did she plan to do it at the time of that?
Yeah.
Because when she's coming up with the idea, they're saying tomorrow this is going to be happening, and she is doing the almost like Daredevil thing, right? Using the water for sound and to be able to see. Well, she's doing the same thing. I'm going to take this outside so that I can. And did she, there's a level there where did that character plan to take it to the rain to get that advantage? And it's like, it's never said. And in the way it plays out in the movie, it seems like it's like 10 minutes later, but it's like unless you're listening specifically to the person on the TV, like tomorrow the storm's gonna be, blah, 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 it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it's a great movie. It really is. I mean, everyone should see it. If you haven't seen it, see it. If you haven't got it, buy it.
Get it.
And then,
definitely home theater reference material.
Yeah. I mean, again, we did say last week, and some of the people in the chat were saying, a bit worried about being triggered. There are some difficult themes in this, but it is such a good experience and such a well done film that I think, everyone should see it. But there we go.
All right. All right. You want to do your, let's see, we'll do, since for time, we can do these two together.
Yeah, you can do.
We'll drop those two together.
Which one?
I'll show you these two together.
Yeah.
Because I have this one as well, and then after that, we'll go in. We'll end on the other, the one you've been holding on for
nice
weeks. On a very nice one. So let me arrange this here.
Yeah. Oh.
Where did it go? There it is. Nope, I already have it. It's got to be up here. Not that one. I had to entertain while you went away. Yeah, works perfect. All right, there we go. Everybody, we'll just edit that out. Nobody will know what happened.
No, smooth.
Yeah, very smooth, just like we worked on it in rehearsal. Here we go.
Alrighty. So, okay. So this then is Deej did Invisible Man this week. I did that last week. Deej did It Chapter 1 last week, and I'm doing that this week. And that's what this is. So this is it.
Don't worry, you'll get some new material soon, everybody. Hold on.
Sooner or later, yeah, coming along. So it's Chapter 1, and in 4K UHD Dolby Atmos. By the way, people, public service announcement for those that have got the disc, this does not default to Dolby Atmos. So do what we always say you do. Always check the audio you're getting before the movie really kicks in, which is what I always do. And sure enough, this has Atmos, but it doesn't default to it. It's a 2017 disc. It's a Warner's disc. For whatever reason, they weren't doing it then. Okay, so I talked at length last time about my love for this, the book, the TV series, and indeed these movies. Great, and I re-watched it, really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's very cool. So that's that. The home theater experience on It Chapter 1 is reference all day long. Deej, you agreed with what I said about Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. I agree with you 100% about this. It is awesome. Right from the beginning, you get an Oranges and Lemons being sung by various characters, and it bounces around the room and it creeps into the overheads and it lurks there for a bit, and then it comes down and goes around the room. And so right from the beginning, before you've even had a frame of movie other than the Warner's logo, you know you're in for a sonic experience, and it just goes like that from that all the way through, and it don't stop. It sounds awesome. Loved it. And again, it looks great, beautiful and bright when it needs to be, inky and black when it should be. It's great. And again, as you say, the wisps of hair, the makeup, the fluffy white clouds as well, which all look, gorgeous.
Fluffy and white.
Yeah, fluffy and white. There you go. Absolutely. Very, very detailed. I mean, look at Pennywise. I know you said the face looked too perfect, but if you then look at him any other time, including in the outside, look at the little flecks of the paint that's starting to creep and fall and fall away, and the different texture in that makeup. All deliberate, all supposed to be seen, and all rendered beautifully on this. So yeah, I agree with you. This is a reference disc. Fantastic. Really enjoyed it. And then we get to Chapter 2, which we both did this week. So I did it literally the following night, which is no joke as well, by the way, because this is nearly 3 hours long as well.
Yeah.
So what, 2 hours 39, 2 hours 45, something like that.
I think it's longer than that. I want to say it's longer than that.
It's long. So do you want to do this bit then, Deej?
2:49. 2 hours, 49 minutes. I saw it. 4K, HDR, and Dolby Atmos. And this, same thing. I felt opening scene, much like it was, same thing. You know what you're in for. It's like it starts out with just the logos, and you get that I forget exactly what it was.
Oranges and Lemons. Oranges
again for this one too?
Yeah.
It was the exact, but it did. It was like I was like, here we go. I'm like, okay, because I pretty much did these back to back as well, and I don't think I did them a day apart. I think it was a couple of days, but it was like one after the other. And in this, there are some, again, great scenes, great atmospheric scenes. The characters, if you haven't seen it, it's in the thing. They're old. It's 27 years later. The characters are older, but it's like you have the same type of what do you call them? Like cavernous spaces. You have different, environments that really play well to the room. So that was great. The picture, it was good, but if you did these back to back, you're going to see the second one at first it was pretty good. I was like, okay, we're going, but I think they used the same footage. Or it was some outtakes, because there was some different footage. Slightly different. Having seen it back to back, you might not realize that this is a slightly different version than was in the first one, because this one here is more, I guess, from what you were saying in the book, it goes back and forth in the book, but the second one goes back and forth. The first one never did. in time jumps.
Yeah.
I'm saying for people that aren't,
Yeah.
you know, don't know. So there were some scenes that looked really nice, like, you know, picture wise, like the first one. But I wouldn't call this inconsistent. Like I said about Clown in a Cornfield, it wasn't that bad. It's just not as sharp. It's just not as dead on. It's really nice. It's really good. And again, if you hadn't seen the first one in like forever, and then this, you'd still be like, this is a really good picture, really good sound. But overall, home theater wise, I don't think it holds up to the first one.
Yeah,
and some of that could be also, you know, theater room fatigue. It is 3 hours long. And I felt like I liked the story. I liked how it played out. I did. Again, this isn't Clown in a Cornfield. I felt this was way more grounded. There was reason that played out. It was like, I get it. Okay. I enjoyed it, but this wasn't, I felt like it made the first one feel like a tighter movie for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I almost felt like this maybe should have been 3 chapters. And maybe expanded the middle chapter instead of it. It's either they rushed this along to get it in for 3 hours, the information, or I don't know how else to put it, but it was like, I think it was too much and too drawn out for what it was.
Yeah, it's baggy. It's baggy. And I agree. It is too long. And there are some additions. There are some extra scenes in this that are not in the book. The stuff in the bleachers, underneath the bleachers with the little girl, is not in the book.
Okay.
And there are some, and the Hall of Mirrors scene's not in the book either. So that, definitely you get a lot for your money. But sometimes you can have, as we've said before, too much of a good thing. It's like eating too much chocolate cake. You're like, look, if I'd had less, I'd felt less ill.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you, and we had a little chat before the show, so we kind of knew this was what it was going to be. But I think the film is not as good as Chapter 1. Some of that I think might be, by the way, you know, again, it's the nostalgia thing, it's the kids thing. You know, when we were kids, you know, it spoke to us more than as an adult. But I think it is baggy, and I agree. I think the home theater experience is good. This one does not. This one does default to Atmos, by the way. There's a 2-year difference in all 3 of the disc. But I think it is noticeable when you do them back to back that it's not as dynamic audio-wise or indeed picture-wise as the first one. Now, I wondered, Deej, now, of course, you watched this. It's interesting you say you watched this on Kaleidoscope, because I was wondering if maybe the reason it's not as dynamic is the disc size. Because, of course, this is a long film to squeeze onto one 4K disc. And I did wonder if maybe that was some of it. But, of course, you're echoing the things that I had. So maybe it isn't disc size.
Yeah.
But it's a long movie to squeeze onto a disc. And especially 6 years ago, I mean, I'm sure authoring has changed. I mean, hence Mission Impossible still looks and sounds great on a disc. Whereas, you know, I wonder whether maybe there wasn't that with this. But, yeah, it is noticeable that it's not as dynamic. It's not as good looking. Still good, but definitely not referenced like the first one is.
Yeah.
For me anyway, and I think it's right. But yeah, Paul Hurt says in the chat, was the Stephen King book too short? No, it was not.
Yeah.
Somebody's read it 5 or 6 times. No, it's not. It's a lovely chunky book. It's a great book. So yeah, it's noticeable, as I said, and I think people need to prepare themselves for the fact that it may, you know, 1, fantastic, 2, just good.
Yeah, and part of it too is, and
part of it too.
Part of it too. Yeah. I said that I was thinking this watching the, you know, Chapter 1, that the dynamics of the sound can be enhanced by that picture. Like you're seeing that picture and it's just bringing you into that movie, making you more aware, and it would make you feel like maybe that sound is better. Go back to the real world example of when I upgraded my sound and Jen thought I got a new projector, right? And it was like, and it wasn't, you know, but those things can be altered. So if one isn't as good as the other, you know, it doesn't. And I didn't think that the audio was that bad. I didn't think it dropped dynamics wise that much. It's just that I felt like the length of the movie, and then it was much of, okay, more of the same. right? Whereas in the first
Mhm.
one, there was a newness to the characters, to the story, to those, you're going down in the tunnel and stuff in the first one,
Mhm.
and the echoes and how everything, you're hyper aware of all that. In the third one, you're more of like, okay, where's the story going? You get to this, and it's
Mhm.
like, how is this playing out? And it wasn't, I don't know. I just felt it's not like I felt like the base was lacking. That's not what I was paying attention to. And I think that's
Mm.
part of the story. And I think it also is like I said, it's like, it's clear that the picture quality just isn't as razor sharp. I can't think of another movie that is as razor sharp all the way through the movie as that first, chapter one. That was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Mm. But if you
So
think that a lot of the footage that is in this, I mean, there are flashbacks to when they were kids. That's all footage that was shot, presumably
mhm.
at the time, because they don't look noticeably older.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it was shot at that time. And
I
yet,
thought there
I
were a
don't think that
couple of
looks as
shots
dynamic.
that were newer. Like you knew, like, okay, that's a new shot that they did. Cause I remember thinking, like, okay, they brought the kids back. They didn't film
Mhm.
this during the first one because
Yeah.
I thought the girl, the Jessica Chastain's younger self, whatever
Yeah.
her name,
Beverly is
Beverly
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought there was a scene with her where she looked a little old, slightly older.
Mm.
But again, these movies are only 2 years apart. So most of the characters hadn't aged that much to change
Dramatically.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
It wouldn't have been that dramatic. But yeah, it's just, yeah, but it is really good. Really good. A lot better than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, well, quite. Yeah, yeah. Well, good. I'm glad to see because, of course, you've not got a frame of reference particularly for it, have you? So that is good. And so Paul says, yeah, it's Atmos on the 4K, so uncompressed, kind of. Could only
Yeah.
be the mix and or mastering. It wouldn't be the first time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did wonder, like I said, whether it had just been squeezed onto a disc, but it does sound like there was a difference, as you said, on the Kaleidoscape version as well.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed after the awesomeness of the first one.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not as good as reference.
Yeah, exactly. And I still think, like I told you earlier, I think that if you hadn't watched them as close together, you may not have thought, like, you'd have to be like, at the worst, you'd be like, is this as good? Because that was really good. Is this as good? And then you go back and go, oh, okay, there's a difference. Yeah. But it's not as big it's not that big of a difference where you'd be like, I remember the first one. But back to back, you definitely can tell the difference. So
Yeah. No, man.
all right. All righty. Here we go. And we'll wrap up our horror movies with let me grab yours and drop it into here too.
Yeah, no
Where's
worries.
yours? Oh, there it is.
It's a very personal question, Deej. Do you mind?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, brutal. Keep this family oriented. Here we
Which is
go.
the nicest way of saying jerk that I've ever heard.
Yeah. Brutal. All right. And we'll wrap up with this little horror gem.
Yeah, the horror. Look at the creatures.
There we go. You've had this for weeks. Take it away.
Okay, alrighty. So, yeah, this then changing gears completely to pretty much everything we've talked about tonight is the Disney Pixar movie Elio, which I saw, as you can tell, those that are watching on YouTube, on Disney Plus, because it hit Disney Plus here, I want to say kind of on, one day, and then it was out the next week on 4K disc. And I must admit, I bought the 4K disc and I haven't watched it, so I do need to. So this review is based purely on the stream on Disney Plus. So I had not seen any trailers to this. I had no knowledge of what this was about whatsoever. It had passed me by in the theaters. I had heard that it kind of came and went, and it just disappeared. And I put it on the day it came out. I thought, well, I'll give it a go. Let's see what it's like. And I then watched the whole thing. And I really like it. I like this film. I, again, probably gather that by the fact that I bought the 4K disc the next week. But I did really enjoy it. I think this is a very sweet, easy watch movie. Yeah. It's not top tier Pixar by any means, but neither is it, bargain basement Pixar either. I think this is a really sweet, well-made, well-intentioned, enjoyable movie. I thought the film was really nice. And I know that nice sounds like damning with faint praise, but I think that's about right. It's what I would say. It is a nice, sweet film. Skews young, And I think but that there's no necessarily a problem with that. Now, bearing in mind I'm only reviewing the stream, the picture quality on the Disney stream from the beginning was exceptional. And what really blew my mind on this, right? I was going to say blew my hair back, but clearly it didn't, because
right off your head.
Yeah, it's still in there, stuck to the back wall. Is the
cleaning lady in here.
Yeah, scraping it off. There's a near the beginning there is a shot of a satellite.
Yes,
orbiting the Earth,
Voyager,
and the camera's behind it, and I gotta be careful with superlatives, I suppose, but I've never seen, I don't think, anything look quite so three-dimensional on a stream ever.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I honestly, my mouth dropped open at this shot. I was thinking, my God, again, who needs 3D when you've got decent 4K? And this is a stream. It was bananas. The sense of depth in that shot in particular was something different. It really was. And you've got all the little stars, the beautiful, obviously, Earth and everything else in the background, satellite in the foreground, and it looked stunning. And then the movie carries on. I mean, that's near the beginning, and then you get all very colorful, all these different kind of things. It's awesome. And so it looked great. And then the sound, I thought, was really, really good. I'm struggling now because it is a while back, and I'm struggling now to think of any particular examples. But I remember thinking, oh, that sounded really good. As a stream, it's a no-brainer. I mean, anyone with Disney Plus and you want an easy watch, chuck this on. And I'm looking forward to revisiting the 4K disc when I get around to it. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought this was really nice and definitely enhanced by the home theater experience. So What did you think, Deej?
So I watched it on Kaleidoscape, 4K, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, everything that you said, and then add some steroids. Because that was like those space scenes. Okay, there's a lot of space. The contrast, the dynamic range that they go into there to pull that out is kind of like, I want to say there were times watching this that I was like, this is where I think AI is going to revolutionize movies.
Don't tell John Thompson.
Yeah, don't tell Tom Thompson. No, there's a way. There's a reason that you can do like that one scene you said there where they're showing Voyager, right? And telling the story of Voyager. Why it looks 3D, right? So like when I was in school, I had a project, I had to do an oil painting, and you had to make it hyper realistic and make it look 3D and make it look like you could reach in behind it and do all that. And there are ways to do that it's almost like you can't do with a camera, even real like 3D cameras, right? All that's doing, it's the reason 3D movies are difficult for people to discern, like to really wrap their head around, is because you don't even see the world that way. In real life, you see, like if I focus on something, I'm focused on that. Everything behind it isn't in focus. The way they make a 3D movie look 3D is they put everything in focus. So now it feels like I can see that. And now your eyes are adjusting to that movie. So it's trickery. What we're doing here, what they're doing is they're creating a contrast. And when they render these things, they can render a fine line of brightness that maybe you're not perceiving, but it's giving you that jump off of the screen. And there are negative halos to things when you see them in real life that you can do. And you can enhance that when you're actually drawing this stuff. So these movies, they can pick how dark they want this part to be. They can do all that. Now you can do that in real life, but it would be painstaking to go into a real shot and re-render every darkness and every edge and everything. So that's where AI could come in and go, I want to do this and I want to make it pop and I'm sure they can do that. Or if they can't, they will be able to. But in this scenario where it's simplified and it's animation, they can really give you that. And I mean, the other part is it's the the juxtaposition of the two different types of scenes. You go in from the characters, which are clearly animated, and then they take that shot and they take you out to space, and you're looking at Voyager, and you're like, now your mind is so used to looking at animated characters, you're like, oh my god, that looks real life. Well, yeah, it's the first real life thing you've seen in 20 minutes. You know, you're like, that's so real. Why? You've ever seen Voyager? Like, for real? You know, so of course there's that, but it is so well done. It is such a, you know, an HDR treat all the way through this movie. And, you know, that, I don't know if you call them wormholes or like whenever they're traveling, that in Atmos, like really, really good. Remember those scenes there? Excellent. You know, and I thought you talked about, I think it was Pennywise earlier. You were saying the hairs and stuff. Getting back to the picture of the hairs on his ears. Like, you know how we all have little hairs on your ears, and it's only if the light is like shining behind, then you find that one sticking off. And you're like, oh, I read that. On him, it was like that little.
Not for me, Deej. No, I don't get a lot of that.
You'd be all excited. I got one. I got one.
Seated in glass.
You go deer hunting? No, he found a hair on his head. Oh, I got it. Oh, there he goes. He killed it.
Dag nabbit.
Yeah. Dag it and bag it.
Knew I should have worn a hat.
But yeah, the little peach fuzz and stuff, the details that they put into this, so good. But yeah, and story-wise, I thought I thought they did a very, very good job at telling the story of without getting into a lot of stuff that goes on. This is very artistically done of writing a story to say, you want to be loved, love yourself. Don't worry, and that's like by the end of the movie, and that I think too many things go in the direction of what gets political and stuff and the ideas. And it's like, no, this was literally just a great kid's story that you're like, this is how you have, take care of yourself first, love yourself. Cause if you don't love yourself, nobody else is going to love you. And that's by the end of the movie. And there were two characters that ended up that way, and it all worked out for them because they thought, oh boy, it's really, really good. It's really well done. So.
Well, there's also the cheeriness where one character is dispatched as well, which I thought was quite funny and also quite sweet in and of itself. Just like, oh yeah, I'll happily die.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
quite
funny.
Yeah.
And quite
did you get
the?
Did you see the Terminator 2 reference?
Oh yes.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, there you go. And it was the same thing. He was like, but yeah, and it was like. And that is kind of funny because how many movies have we seen where even a computer like that's, and we give the feelings to that. And this one here, it was just like, yeah, I'm good. It was awesome. Yeah. Okay.
That was good. And really sweet. And also articulating at the beginning. I mean, it's not up. You don't get the absolutely, rip your heart out and stamp on it in the first sort of 5 minutes of Up. It's not like that, but you do get a very sweet opening to it that I think is emotional.
Yeah.
And again, and it's interesting how they do that within a few seconds,
right.
with some very minimal dialogue, and by the way, a conversation off camera that gives you everything you need. And the Pixar, when they're at its best or at their best, is when they do that with such simplicity. And they are masters of that when they get it right. And I think they do get it right at the beginning of this. And I think it does immediately tell you a lot about what's happening and immediately is kind of pulling at, the sympathy strings. So, it's really nice. It's nice.
It lays the groundwork for the rest of the motivation of the rest of the movie. It's kind of outlines why things are happening the way they're happening. It's really, really well done. Really well done.
Yeah, it is. And look, these are two 50-something men talking about a movie for kids.
Yeah.
And that we enjoyed it. Again, speaks to Pixar, doesn't it? Which is, well, we can make a film for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
Excellent. Yeah, I can't wait for you to see it in 4K.
Oh, yeah. I will get around to it.
4K. And
well, I've got to see these two first this week. So these two are my two for this week.
Either of them yet? I forget.
Yes, I've seen them both.
Both of them. I thought.
But
so.
Jurassic World, not in 4K, not in Atmos, and obviously Fantastic Four was in the theaters. So yeah, I'm looking forward to both of them. But just as you were talking a minute ago, guys, I just happened to glance. Fantastic Four's got a variable aspect ratio. So that's interesting. Yeah, has the Kaleidoscape version got it? I'm sure it has.
I can't remember.
So, yeah, it says 16:9 and 2:39. So yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah,
no, it's 240.
Okay, yeah, it's got 16:9 and 2:39. Can't remember the last time a Disney movie, certainly a Marvel movie, non-3D, had variable aspect ratios. Not then it wasn't.
Or they'll have them. They'll
enhanced.
save that for IMAX enhanced on Disney Plus. Yeah.
So yeah, this one's got variable aspect ratios according to this.
Oh, maybe
that'll be interesting.
Grab the disc so I can take that.
Let me double check it because that just says it on the box, but you never know. I'm going to watch it this week, so I'll let you know for sure. But yeah, it looks good. Yeah, very cool. I mean, it definitely says it on the back. I don't know if you can make that out on the camera. No, probably not.
Yeah, a little too
bright. But it definitely says, there you go. See that Atmos? So there, 16:9 2:39. There you go.
Oh yeah.
See that?
Yep. Yeah. I got you. Yeah, 16:9 2:39. Yeah.
So that seems to suggest we're going to get a bit of VAR. Yeah, it might be a typo, Paul. It might be. I don't know, man. We'll find out. Yeah. But if ever there was a movie that you'd want to do that for, those Galactus scenes. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of makes
Jordan, can you confirm it? Jordan, have you seen it? Because I know he tends to watch them straight away. So yeah, if you can let me know.
Well, he's saying it. He's literally saying it. First Marvel film on 4K disc to have various aspect ratios. So
yeah, I mean the 3D Blu-rays did. They had those all the time, but not 4K.
That plays to the 3D though. You know, when you're in 3D and you go into that wall, like that's really cool. So
there's an opera in it, was there?
Yeah.
And on that bombshell.
On that bombshell, yeah. All right. We will wrap up from here. Yeah, next week. I did get some emails from some people. I haven't gotten back to anybody yet. I got to start scheduling. I got some new listeners, so I'm going to try to get those scheduled soon.
Any spoilers?
Not yet. No, people in the chat. They've both been in the chat. One wasn't. Two people so far. Two new listeners that are like want to get in on it. I think they've both been in the chat. One more often than the other. So yeah, you'll know them. You'll definitely know them when you hear them. I don't know if I'll get them both before the 25-hour show. But yeah, I got to start scheduling that this week. I scheduled up. Today's was with Nick and Larry, and that kind of got a little wonky last week. Some stuff came up, and we had to reschedule to a different degree, and ended up doing it yesterday. So luckily, it was raining yesterday, so I was like, all right, I can do that. So they are
good with their time, aren't they? I mean, if you think they are good with their time, aren't they? I mean, you think of the number of times they've been on the show. And again, and with me too. I mean, when I was on, again, we did with Ara and Braden and as we were talking earlier, SVS are very cool like that. Yeah. I can't think of another company that devotes that much time to kind of to their customers. It seems to me. I mean, I know you've had people on from Kaleidoscape and stuff, but SVS have been on again and again and again, and they're always available. It seems. So yeah, very cool. I think.
Yeah. Well, that's what we said on the show today. It was like that's why I didn't know anybody yet, and I was just like I just reached out, and that's how I met them. But it was because of their customer service, because I already had their product, and it was their customer service that I'm like, these people are awesome, and I didn't know who I was going to get, but I was like, and of course you end up meeting Nick in charge of marketing and everything like that, and then meeting Larry. I remember the first time, and you're just like, oh my, this guy's a home theater savant for like you were saying about Mission Impossible. He does mention it later in the show. I know you haven't heard it yet, but he does mention that one that he's going to get a scene from. But I was saying how like in the show, like all of his scenes are mic drop demo scenes, not one that you come in and go, they're all like every time he picks one and he comes up with them off the top of his head. Like he was like, okay, this scene here, blah, blah, blah. It's awesome. Awesome stuff.
Yeah,
so
they are very cool the way they do it. I like their customer engagement is almost second to none. Seems to me, they just, and again, I mean, and you said these. I mean, I don't think we're doing ourselves a disservice, but who are we? Do you know what I mean? You say you're an ex-donkey in the basement because you're not in the basement anymore.
Yeah, I'm still a donkey. I'm an ex-basement.
Yeah, ex-basement. There you go. That's it. But like kind of in the scheme of things, who are we? And yet they still give their time and they engage and they're patient and they want to talk. And as I said, I think that's to be commended because most companies just would not do that.
No.
So I like I said, I credit where it's due. It's very, very cool that they do it. So I play to them. I'm not after anything free, SVS. I'm just saying, well done, you.
Here we go. Subtle.
Yeah. Hey, no. Honestly, I'm not.
It's not.
It's just it's worth giving them props because they genuinely, it seems to me,
they're good people. They're good people,
yeah.
and that's how, in my opinion, that's why like the products I like, the things I like, it's all, I can like a product because of the product, but if I find an equal product or something but I like the people better, you're always going to, that's human. You're going to gravitate to that. Right. I might just in general I might spend more at the mom and pop store down the street because I know mom and pop, as opposed to I could save a few bucks and go to Walmart, but I know mom and pop. I'm going to spend that all day long. Right. And the same goes for, if I know a company of something, I'll be like, oh my God, these people are awesome. I want to support that. I want that company to grow. And it's like, and I've always been that way with smaller companies, and you meet these people and they're awesome, and that goes a long way. So it's, no different than even what you and I are doing right now. If we were just coming on here and being jerks, which we do sometimes, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, our opinions don't matter if you don't respect the person in the first place.
Yeah, true.
And that's our product. Our product is our opinions, right? It's no different. It's absolutely no different. So it's like, you gotta be yourself and do what you're passionate about. And that's what all of these companies that I really like, whether it's in home theater or anything else, car companies or anything, you want to follow the passion. And that's the most important part. And it's like everything after that, it's like, that's what I follow anyways. So, but all right.
They're all saying good night, Deej. I think they want us to wrap up.
Yeah, I know. I got to get you to bed and I'm rambling. All right. That'll be it for this week. Next week, I will have another Takeover Tuesday. We'll be back and maybe be doing a Patreon afterwards because of the time change, maybe something like that. We'll see, because we're leading up to the 25-hour show on November 1st. So,
and Deej, and anyone this side of the pond, I think the clocks go back on Sunday, so we will be starting 8 p.m. our time. So it'll be that much earlier. Just next week.
Yeah,
so people
awesome.
know.
There you go.
So hence we can do the Patreon chat afterwards.
There we go. Exactly. So, all right. Thanks everybody. Thanks to everybody, all the patrons, the chat, everybody writing in. And again, new listener, never been on. Don't be scared. Just email me, DJ at Brightside Home Theater, and we'll get it going. But until next time, you know what you got to do.
Go push play. What he said.
That's right.
Hey, Fred.
This has been a Hey Fred production with theme music by Jeff Bernhardt and Throne Vault Productions.